about the first week of November here. There's a verse in the book of Job, a really kind of intriguing verse. You don't need a whole lot of detail here, but it's Elihu. He's the youngest. He hadn't spoken up until these last few chapters. He reproves both Job and the three friends because his argument against Job is that he justified himself in the presence of God. But he says this in verse 21 of chapter 36. He says, "Be careful, do not turn to evil, for you have preferred this to affliction." There's a temptation that comes with suffering, and by the way, we all suffer. Some in different ways than others. What I go through is not what you've gone through, or will go through, but we'll all suffer. It's a part of life, and we would be foolish as American Christians to think that the suffering that goes on in certain, various parts of the world, Christians that are really, truly, I get it, it's horrendous, but at least for them it's defined. For us, much of the suffering is subtle, it is mental, and we're tempted in the midst of these mundane issues that come up. Much of what's been going on in our society is a degree of mental torture that we all have to face. And this is the temptation that we all have, that we turn to evil. And I thought that was quite interesting that this young man, Elihu, would say this. He says, be careful not to turn to evil, because we as human beings might tend to prefer this over affliction. It's easier to go along with people that have opinions that are boisterously opinionated. It's easy to go along with a crowd that's judgmental and hurtful and vindictive. It's very hard to remain in the love of God and maintain a relationship with truth, especially when it might cost you. Look, Jesus said it, I think it's in Luke 14:26 and on in that text, where we have to lose our life first and foremost, but he said, well, you have to count the cost too. You don't start to build and not have the means to finish. You don't wage war if you don't have an army capable of overcoming those that are attacking you. And for us, unless we're rooted and grounded in the love of God, unless we're totally embedded in it, the issues that we face in this world, the trials and turmoil that we all go through in various ways, with relationships, loved ones, circumstance, physical health, just go down the list. All of those things, there's a temptation for us to turn to evil, meaning that we can get really angry, we can become really judgmental, we can begin to impugn the character of others because they get away with it. Whatever. I love the fact that when we hear of the description of our Lord in Isaiah 53, he didn't open his mouth. In fact, that's one of the qualities that the Apostle Peter brings out in 1 Peter 2 and verse 21 and on, that he didn't open his mouth. When he was accused, abused, he didn't open his mouth. And Peter actually encourages the believers to live by that same example. For all of us, let's not take the bad things that we're going through and be tempted in the midst of it to turn to evil. Mental attitude sins against others, against God himself, because we'd rather do that than suffer affliction. Till next time, friends, God bless you.